The Batman Who Laughs, Issue 3. Narrative. My father wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Eventually, he chose a different path, but he kept a lifelong interest in neuromedicine. He remained fascinated by the question of where happiness, true happiness, lived in the mind. He found it funny that the same part of the brain that controlled visual planning was also responsible for contentedness, the precuneus. It was his belief that planning, envisioning good things coming, played a big part in making those things real. I can still remember the day I fell in, calling out to him from the dark. "See it in your head, Bruce," he called back. "See the rope. See yourself climbing out. See yourself being brave." And I did. Sometimes I think that Batman was born at that moment, even more than the alley or at the window. Now, I have become a man of plans, almost only plans. Every new one an extension of the first. I make them real, one, then the next. So often I've forgotten what it's like to reach for one and grasp nothing, or worse. Narrative continues. Reach and find something else there entirely. Commissioner Gordon says, "James, we need to talk." JJ says, "I've been doing everything asked of me. I promise." Commissioner Gordon says, Can you just stop stalking for a moment? Please." Beep. JJ says, "I actually can't. I'm sorry, Dad. It's all timed and monitored. I do the finger prick twice a day. Keep to the program. There's a 10-foot error of margin on the anklet, but I'd never risk it. Home, here, home again, no stops. Sometimes the meal delivery service leaves the food at the back entrance to the building. It's in range, but I don't..." Commissioner Gordon interrupts. "You don't eat those nights. I know, James. Just because I voted against all this doesn't mean I'm not watching you. Never think I'm not watching you." JJ says, "I'm glad to know you are, Dad. I know you don't believe in this yet, but..." Commissioner Gordon says, "Damn it, stop doing that." Commissioner Gordon continues, "Just stop and talk to me. I called your supervisors. We have some time off the grid here. I need you to listen to me. I saw the scans. I know what's happened to you. The parts that woken up. And as much as I was against this, I'm glad you're doing well." JJ says, "I don't know how well I'm doing, but thank you. To be honest, the parts that are alert now, they're sort of awful. I've never felt this way. This shame, guilt, remorse. So, you don't have to feel bad about it. I'm ready to go back, Dad. Take me back. I don't know if I even..." Commissioner Gordon says, "James, I'm not here to shut down your program." JJ says, "I don't understand. If this isn't about that, what's it about?" Batman off says, "It's about plans. Plans to kill the city 100 different ways." Commissioner Gordon says, "Batman, I can explain..." Batman interrupts. "There's nothing to explain. Your son is a psychopath." JJ says, "I am. But what's Batman interrupts. "I know what's happening to you. You're on a drug called diamine, brought to trial phase by Wayne Enterprises Pharma Division. It's designed to treat psychopathy, reestablish connections between the ventromedial, prefrontal cortex, and the amygdala." JJ says, "So you know, Batman, I didn't believe in this either. I didn't think it'd work. I didn't want to even join the..." Batman says, "No. At first you only agreed because you thought it'd provide some way of escaping, so you could go kill more people." Commissioner Gordon says, "Batman, for what it's worth, it's working on him." Batman says, "For what it's worth, I don't want it to. Not today. Today I want the old you, James. The murderer. The genius. I need him. Commissioner Gordon says, look, just give him some room. JJ says, no, Dad, it's okay. Batman, the way I used to think, even my memories, there's a lot that's just darkness. Batman says, allow me to illuminate things for you. Batman says, this is a map of Gotham's current water system. It's nested in systems from 20, 30, 80 years ago. Over the decades, private companies have offered to clear old pipes pro bono, but the board always opts to build over or around, which has left the new system susceptible to all manner of attack via the old waterways. Not long ago, though, I developed a fail-safe in coordination with Wayne Enterprises and the city government called Last Laugh. It seals Gotham off, closes all waterways, except one connected to a hidden and protected underground reservoir that can be loaded with any vaccine, any cure. The system was nearly ready to go online, but hours ago, the Batman Who Laughs destroyed it. Almost. There's still one last mechanism to activate the system, and I have to protect it. But right now, I need to know which route the Batman Who Laughs is going to use to infect Gotham, James. JJ says, I'm telling you, I don't know. Batman says, look. JJ says, how even would I... Batman interrupts, how would you know? Because it used to be all you knew. Hell, as a child, all you did was think about it. At 13 years old, you were a legend. You had books, journals filled with routes, genius combinations. In fact, you were so good at it, criminals took notice. Even Joker took notice, cited you as the best. Commissioner Gordon says, all those old journals were submitted to GCPD, holding years ago. They're under lock-in. Batman says, I know, I checked. They're gone. The Batman Who Laughs likely has them already. If not, he's coming for you, so you're going to have to remember. JJ says, I want to help you. Batman says, then see the plan. Commissioner Gordon says, I've seen the data, Batman. Corrections, Leslie's, Wayne's. James isn't lying about the changes in him. I'm not saying he's... Batman says, saying he's what? Cured? Good. Because if you believed that, you wouldn't be here. Batman says, the Batman Who Laughs is winning. He's using whatever dark metal is left in this city to bring Bruce Wayne's through from other worlds, making it a serum. They'll turn this city into hell. I have no way of seeing this, seeing his plan or predicting the touch points. Now he's almost destroyed my only fail-safe. So stop tiptoeing around it. You're here for the same damn reason I am, because some part of you believes, despite whatever changes he's going through, that he's still the boy who's better than anyone at murdering this city. JJ says, is that why you're here, Dad? Commissioner Gordon says, I don't think that... Look, James, can you help Batman? Can you help us both? James, will you turn the stock gun off and talk to us? JJ says, I'm not doing that. Batman says, get down. The Grim Knight says, give me Gordon and no one gets hurt. Batman yells, no! As he tackles the Grim Knight. The Grim Knight says, ugh. The Grim Knight says, ha! Look at you. Careful you don't shoot your eye out. Batman says, just because I don't use guns doesn't mean I don't know how. I'm one of the top 10 shooters alive. The Grim Knight says, wow, top 10. Everyone's a winner on this world. Batman says, try me. The Grim Knight says, top in what? Revolver? Semi? Full? Nerf? Batman shoots, boom! Thunk. The Grim Knight says, nice shot, Bruce. Batman says, "Thank you, Bruce." The Grim Knight says, "Ugh." Batman says, "Out, now." Commissioner Gordon says, "Where are we going?" Batman says, "The Batmobile is just ahead, disguised as that." Skrrr. Commissioner Gordon says, "What the?" The Grim Knight says, "Hello again. Now, on my world, Batman, Gotham is my Batcave. Her grid, water, and air filtration systems, vehicles, even traffic lights have bats in them. The city is my colony. Here, I have to use gaps, worms, but still, it's easy enough to colonize your city too. I've already hooked into plenty, as you can see. The guano, though, you never clean. My Gotham, it has no Joker, no Scarecrow, no Riddler," Batman says, "and it has no Batman either." The Grim Knight says, "I want you to look up in the sky. See that plane? I'm going to blow its starboard engine in 3, 2, 1. Bang!" The Grim Knight says, "You will give me Gordon, or that plane, National Flight 378, with 72 passengers aboard, 41 of them Gothamites, will crash into Midtown, and everyone will die." Batman says, "Jim." Commissioner Gordon says, "No, Batman, we're not giving him James. Not to that thing." Batman says, "James isn't the Gordon he's after." Commissioner Gordon says, "What the hell are you?" The Grim Knight says, "Follow me if you want, but make sure you collect your participation trophies. There'll be at least 72 scattered around Midtown." JJ says, "I don't understand. What just—" Batman interrupts. "Last laugh. Until it was finished and handed over to the city, I rigged the trigger so it'd need more than just me to initiate it. It would need my authorization and the authorization of someone I trusted as much as myself with the interests of the city. Your father." JJ says, "You're saying—" Batman says, "I'm saying we just lost. Again." Iceberg Lounge. Oswald says, "Craps." One of Penguin's henchmen says, "Sir?" Oswald says, "There's something wrong with this damn die. The ice is supposed to be denser at the 6, giving the 1 a 10% hike. This die, though, 100 rows in, it's nearly even." The henchman says, "Sir, there's a man at the door. He's not leaving. Every time we ask him what he wants or who he is, anything, all he says is, 'I'm Batman,' in whispery voices, and laughs." Oswald says, "So he's a junkie. Send security, you idiot." The henchman continues, "We did. We sent everyone out there. No one's responding. And there's blood in the alley, sir. A lot of blood. And maybe other parts. It's hard to—" Oswald says, "What?" "Paxter, Penn, come in." One of his henchmen say, "See, Oswald continues, "Enough. Get me my arsenal. Whatever you do, don't open the door. Whoever this guy is." The Batman who laughs says, "I told you already. I'm Batman." Oswald says, "The hell you are." The Batman who laughs says, "Yes, the hell I am. And just like your Batman, I know all about this place. It's magnificent, Oswald. From the amphetamines dissolved in ice cubes to the stolen imports you give away as prize cars. It's a non-stop party." "My personal favorites are the drink umbrellas that spray alcohol over the crowd. So fun. Gets them all dancing, especially when you add a little spark." "Go on, twist and shout. The burning people yell, "Ah! Ah!" Oswald says, "Kill him. Kill the bat right now." The Batman Who Laughs says, "And the defenses in this place are impressive. The blast-proof craps tables, the bulletproof glass hidden in the ice of the cage, and the defibrillators that are charged extra strong to electrocute enemies. Make it look like a heart attack, eh?" Oswald says, "Wait, don't. I'll give you whatever you want." The Batman Who Laughs says, "Clear." Zzz. Oswald says, The Batman Who Laughs says, "It's amazing, really, what you've built here. You had a vision and you made it real. Every Batman in existence respects you for it, Oswald. In fact, I'll tell you a secret. People assume that Batman's last enemy on most worlds out there is Joker, maybe Riddler. But it's you. See, you grow this crime empire until he has to deal with you. And on some worlds, you win. Get folks to turn on him. On a couple, he wins. But my favorite world is the one where he actually ends up competing with you to bring you down, where he becomes the overseer of a legal mecca of gambling and drugs built on this spot right here, mostly through the help of his friend, Bruce Wayne." Blimp. Bruce Wayne says, "What the? Where am I? Who in—" The Batman Who Laughs says, "This Bruce Wayne, Oswald. He is your final enemy. You put up a good fight, but in the end, I'm sorry to say, Bruce Wayne..." The Batman Who Laughs continues, "He bleeds you dry, runs you out of town. You try to reason with him, joins forces, but no matter what you do..." Bruce Wayne says, Who are you? The Batman Who Laughs says, "He never see eye to eye." The Batman Who Laughs says, "I mean, now he seems open-minded. But hey, as far as your dice problem, the one that rolls too fairly, look into a guy who works for you, named Malone." Oswald says, The Batman Who Laughs says, "Matches Malone." JJ says, "There are all sorts of ways to corrupt the system." Beneath Gotham City, JJ continues, "Gotham is fed by 3 reservoirs. He could compromise by means of at least 3 old pipelines, viable to each. So we're talking about 9 to 18 ways of infecting the waterways." Batman says, "I need to know which one he's going to use, James. I need you to see it." JJ says, "I'm sorry, Batman. I used to be good at this." But Batman says, "Which one? Which one?" Whomp. JJ says, "Batman, stop. Stop it. If you wreck these pipes, it'll only be harder. I'll try, okay? I promise. I'll try." Batman says, I'm sorry, James. I wasn't ready for him to come back. Not this soon. Last Laugh wasn't finished. The dark metal in the city. Wayne Enterprises has been gutting it ever since my last fight with him. There's over a ton beneath my cave. But nothing is complete. JJ says, "Tell me this. He got you, didn't he?" Batman says, "What are you?" JJ says, "He infected you with whatever is in him." Batman says, "I won't let it take me over. I have enough antitoxin to hold it off for at least another week. How did you..." JJ says, "I might not be able to think like I used to, but your voice, I know that voice." JJ says, "The flatness deep inside, I remember trying to hide it, practicing, seeing if I could fool my father. I used to read greeting cards to myself because they were full of emotion, in this sing-song voice. Thank you for being there for me. Pretending. Acting. My dad's going to shut down the program, isn't he? Batman says, yes. He filed the paperwork last week. JJ says, that's okay. It's just that old voice. It really is gone. Almost like your last laugh idea. Like I've been cut off from the old systems, connected to this strange new setup. Everything is so different. The way I look at the world, look at people. I even let myself start to imagine what I just I would have liked to see where it led. Batman says, I'm going to lose to him, James, aren't I? For the first time in my life, Batman isn't working. He's not. Alfred says, Sir, Master Bruce. Batman says, Alfred, what is it? What's going on? Alfred says, I'm so sorry, sir. It's Joker. He was drugged so heavily. He shouldn't have been able to see, to talk, to move, and yet, Batman says, and yet what? Alfred says, moments ago he just... Batman says, what? Alfred says, he got up and kept saying... Joker says, you're breaking my heart. Alfred says, and he attacked me and wrecked everything and ran off shrieking or laughing or wailing. I'm so sorry, sir. JJ says, Batman, what happened? What is it? Batman says, what happened is, I see it now. You're right. JJ says, I am. Batman says, yes, you're right. He's right. You're all right. Everyone. Batman continues, except for me. Alfred says, sir? Master Bruce? I got the alert you're in the access denied cave. What an original access point override. Beep. Sir? Master Bruce? Alfred says, Master Clink, what are all the antitoxins for Joker venom smashed? Clink. Batman says, what do you need, Alfred? Alfred says, what? What do I need? Sir, Bruce, what are you doing down here? Why have you locked me out? I'm here to help. I can help. We'll figure out a plan to... Clink. Batman says, see, that's the thing, Alfred. Maybe our plan, maybe it's wrong. Clink. Maybe it's always been wrong. Alfred says, what are you saying? Bruce, you can't be... Clink. Batman says, I was right here when I made it. My big plan. To climb out of the dark. To be brave. What does that mean, Alfred? I didn't seal the cave, kill the bats. I climbed out. Kept climbing, over and over. Someone plunges the city into darkness. I help it climb. 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 Be brave. Alfred says, Bruce, you don't sound... Batman continues, but people die. They go to Potter's Field. So pretty. They get to plan what? For happiness? No. Safety? What am I, Alfred? A rope. But a bat is a messenger from the underworld. It tells you what to do, not what to become. What if I missed the message, Alfred? What if I missed it all? Alfred says, "Sir, what are you making? Tell me what you're making." Clink. Batman says, "There, I'm done." Alfred says, "Don't do this, Bruce. Batman will work." Batman says, "Not anymore. Not with him." Alfred says, "He is the plan. Now and forever. He is the plan." Batman says, "I'm sorry, friend." Batman continues, "But plans change.